As draft season heats up, there's an increasing focus not just on the top 10 picks, but on the gold mine that often lies in the later rounds, Day 2 and Day 3. While all eyes are usually locked on early splash picks, the smarter teams are already doing deep work beyond the obvious. That's where the real value lies, and the Bears seem to be positioning themselves perfectly for it. Rather than obsessing over what to do at pick number 10, let's pivot to what matters just as much: building the core of a strong, sustainable roster. Think long-term. Think about depth. Think about versatility. And that's why Chicago's latest interest in Arizona offensive lineman Jonah Savainaya is worth paying attention to. Savainaya has already had a formal meeting with the Bears at the Combine, and now he's locked in for a top 30 visit at Halas Hall. These visits aren't just routine, they're targeted. Every year, you can look back and draw a direct line between players who visit and players who get drafted or signed later. It's part of a process this front office takes seriously. In the 2023 cycle, the pattern was clear. Several players who came through Halas Hall on top 30 visits, including key contributors, ended up in Navy and Orange. It's a trend worth tracking, especially when a name like Savainaya pops up again in pre-draft conversations. Now, why is Savainaya a compelling prospect? His versatility jumps off the tape. Over 3 seasons at Arizona, he logged 16 starts at right tackle, 15 at right guard, and even 5 more at left tackle. That kind of flexibility is rare. He's not just a plug-and-play guy at one spot. He's someone who can fill in wherever needed across the offensive line. That flexibility is critical for Chicago. The current roster has a few veterans holding down the fort, but it's clear that depth and future planning are priorities. While someone like Jonah Jackson was a solid get, he's 32 and on a short deal. That opens the door for younger linemen to learn, develop, and maybe even take over sooner than expected. Let's dig a little deeper into what makes Jonah Savainaya not just a name on a draft board, but a real candidate to be an impact player in Chicago. He's known for his physical style, heavy hands, quick feet, and a gritty edge to his play. His snatch trap move in pass protection stands out, and he's shown an ability to engage effectively at the point of attack. Scouts are projecting him primarily as a guard at the next level, but he's proven he can hold his own at tackle in a pinch. That swing potential adds value instantly. Developmental? Sure, to a degree. But this isn't a long-term project. If needed, Savainaya could step in and start at guard as early as week 1. If asked to play tackle, that might take more seasoning, but the tools are there. He's coachable and has improved year over year. That's all you can ask for in a mid-round prospect. Now, the Bears aren't the only team interested. Reports indicate that the Lions and Vikings have both shown interest, including a top 30 visit scheduled in Minnesota. This could turn into a classic division chess match, where the best move is made in the margins, not just at the top of the board. What gives Chicago an edge is how they've set themselves up through free agency. The team addressed enough immediate needs to afford taking a slightly developmental player without having to throw him into the fire right away. That's how sustainable teams are built, through planning, patience, and the occasional home run in the 3rd round. And let's not forget what offensive coordinator Ben Johnson emphasized recently. To execute their offensive system properly, they'll need 8 to 10 capable offensive linemen. That's not a luxury. That's a requirement. Right now, the team has made great progress toward that number, but there's still work to do. Looking across the current offensive line depth chart, there are some clear strengths and question marks. Tackles are solidified with Jones and Wright. The center position is anchored by Dolman. Jackson and Tooney bring veteran leadership to the guard spots. Behind them, you have promising talent like Amagaji, who is still developing. That gives you around 6 or 7 linemen you can trust. Add in a name like Ryan Bates, another reliable, versatile option, and you're close to that target number. Still, adding 1 or 2 more linemen in this draft will be necessary. especially with a player like Savaiania, who could be part of both the present and future. With the top 30 visit list shaping up, a pattern has emerged. Chicago is locking in on prospects projected to go on Day 2 and Day 3 of the draft. This approach aligns perfectly with the team's current structure and long-term strategy. Let's zoom out and look at a few other linemen the Bears have either met with or expressed interest in, both during the Combine and through additional visits. Josh Simmons, Ohio State, a talented prospect who could benefit from a redshirt year. If he lands in Chicago, there's no rush. The team's depth allows him to develop at his own pace. Will Campbell, LSU, and Colin Pierce, Rutgers, both visited during Combine season and offer unique traits, though Campbell brings more of a polished, pro-ready edge. Anthony Belton, NC State. He's had a top 30 visit and brings 3 years of starting experience at left tackle. He also shined at the Senior Bowl, turning heads with his power and poise. The front office has made it clear that meaningful competition is needed at left tackle. While Braxton Jones is a solid piece, he's coming off a significant ankle injury. The team needs insurance, and that's where someone like Belton could step in and push for a role immediately. If Chicago stays true to this plan, expect multiple offensive linemen taken during rounds 2 through 5. That's where the meat of the draft is. That's where this team has found success before. And that's where the next generation of trench warriors will be found. There's also flexibility depending on how things shake out with earlier picks. If the first round brings a splash at running back, tight end, or even defensive line, that's fine. The structure of this draft allows room to still hit offensive line needs later without sacrificing quality. This draft class has plenty of value in the middle rounds, and the Bears are clearly doing the homework to take advantage of it. That includes hosting guys like Jonah Savaiania, who checks every box: toughness, versatility, experience, and upside. In a league where depth up front separates the contenders from the pretenders, Chicago looks like a team determined to stay ahead of the curve. They're not just looking for starters, they're looking for stability, adaptability, and long-term answers in the trenches. Whether Savaiania ends up being the pick or not, the attention around him signals that Chicago is attacking the right areas of the draft at the right time. That's how you build something that lasts.